Good morning, students. Hello, how are you today? Excellent? Very good. Okay, so welcome to our English class. I am the teacher Renato, and I hope you are ready for the lesson, okay? Pay attention. Okay, so we are in the week 15, and don't forget to write your personal information. Date, name, surname, and grade. The topic, teacher. Okay, we're going to check it out the topic later. So now, the objective of this class is identifying the main ideas. The main ideas that mean the important ideas, okay? And some details of writing an oral test in order to interact with and to develop an approach of critical inquiry to a variety of tests. Okay, so that is the objective, and we're going to do this. Let's do it. The topic for the class is about the Chasquis. Do you know about the Chasquis? Chasquis, is an interesting word, isn't it? Okay, so I have a question for you. How did people communicate? You know, communicate is give information to other person. So how did people communicate before the newspapers? Okay, so for the Inca Empire, for example, remember we talk about the Atahualpa Huasca in the Inca Empire in the Tahuantinsuyo. So how did people in that time communicate? Do you think by phone? I don't think so. Mobile phone? No. Messages? Yeah, could be messages, but how? Because internet, there isn't an email. There wasn't in that time. So we're going to understand and we're going to answer this question when we finish the lesson, okay? All right, so the Chasquis, the Inca Empire was very big and they needed to communicate information and news, obviously. There were not newspapers, you can see newspapers, magazines, or books. So they trained young men, call it Chasquis. In this time, these Chasquis were excellent runners, okay? Runners. They could run very fast for hours. They also had an excellent memory. Okay, what is the meaning memory, teacher? Memory is the ability to remember something, okay? And now, they could memorize every message perfectly. When they met another Chasquis, other Chasquis, they told the new Chasquis the message. Then the new Chasquis memorized the message and ran to tell the next Chasquis. All right? If you know, message is a piece of information information you tell someone, okay? You have to tell someone this kind of information. So, when this reading, do you know how did people communicate before newspapers? Yes, obviously, by messages. Very good. But they need, in the Tahuantinsuyo, for example, they need these young people. Do you know this young man? What is the name of this young man? Yes, very good. The Chasquis. Okay, they need the Chasquis. All right, so now I'm going to give you a grammar tip. Okay, this grammar tip is very, very important. So we have could. Repeat with me. Could. Yes, couldn't. Excellent, very good. Repeat again, please. Could. Couldn't. Very good. Could and couldn't are used with the past tense, with the past. Okay? So, for example, for positive sentences, we use they could run very fast for hours. They, that mean the subject, remember they is the Chasquis. Chasquis could run very fast for hours. And the negative sentences is they couldn't, or Chasquis couldn't read newspapers. They couldn't, all right? Y aquí voy a utilizar mis 30 segundos de español para explicarte un poquito la base de este tip gramatical. Lo que tú estás viendo, lo que leímos hace un momento, fue la historia de los chasquis en el pasado. Por eso estuvimos hablando varias cosas en el pasado. Y para eso tú también necesitas se le conoce como un auxiliar, bueno, como un modal, mejor dicho. Se le conoce como el could y el couldn't, que tú lo vas a necesitar para decir pudo, o podía, o no podía, ¿ok? Aquí tenemos las oraciones positivas y las oraciones negativas. Un ejemplo, yo podía tocar la guitarra. I could play the guitar. Pero ahora no puedo, ya me olvidé. ¿Ok? Otra oración en negativa. Yo no podía llegar tarde. I couldn't get late at home. Ahora ya estoy un poquito grandecito, entonces creo que puedo pasar un poquito de la raya. Sin embargo, tú tienes que entender esta parte. ¿Ok? Se acabó los 30 segundos y eso es todo. Vamos a ver lo siguiente. Next, we're going to continue with the Chasquis, and here we have a review. This review is about the Inca Empire. Okay, the Inca Empire was a very big and needed to communicate information and news. There were no newspapers, magazines, or books. So they trained young men called Chasquis. These Chasquis were excellent runners. They could run very fast for hours. They also had an excellent memory. They could memorize every message perfectly. When they met another Chasqui, they told the new Chasqui the message. Then the new Chasqui memorized the message and ran to tell the new Chasqui. All right, are you ready for the next questions? Yes? All right, so we're going to challenge your knowledge. We have this exercise. We're going to use could and couldn't. All right? So look, we're going to read the sentences. The Chasquis run fast. The Incas communicate their news. The Chasquis communicate with newspapers. And then they fly. So you can see in the line, you have to write could or couldn't. For example, the last sentences. They couldn't fly. The Chasquis couldn't fly. Imagine, in the Tahuantinsuyo or the Inca Empire, it was impossible. So here, with the number one, the Chasquis could or couldn't run fast. Think about it. Okay, next one. The Incas could or couldn't communicate their news. Communicate information. News at the information. The number three. The Chasquis could or couldn't communicate with newspapers. Hey, here's the newspaper. Take. Hey, the newspaper. Do you have the newspaper? Okay, give me. So what do you think? Is cool or cool? All right, you have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the answers are. The first one is cold. The Chasquis could run fast, obviously. The number 2, the Incas could communicate their news. And the number 3, the Chasquis couldn't communicate in newspapers. Obviously, my friend, because there isn't newspapers in that time. There wasn't. Anyway, so thank you so much. So don't forget to practice this kind of grammar, okay? Excellent, students. Very good.
Okay, that's all, folks. Thank you so much for watching the video, and don't forget to understand these 3 rules. Very important, okay? Wash your hands about 30 seconds, stay away 2 meters, and don't forget to use a mask, okay? So see you in the next class. God bless you. Bye bye.